Let's be honest, no one wants to get injured in the gym, but are you actually doing everything that you can to minimize the risk of it happening? Or are you just sitting around waiting for it to inevitably happen? People never care about injury prevention when they are healthy, but as soon as something happens, it's suddenly on top of their priority list. But at that point, it's already too late. And trust me when I say that health should always be your number one priority. And I hope you can realize this while you are still injury free. So let me show you a couple of easy tips that will help you to stay away from getting injured. Let's start with something that especially the new lifters will appreciate. I'm pretty sure that some of you already had the unpleasant experience of putting on the 45-pound plates on a barbell, and when you did that, the whole bar rolled over and everything fell on the ground. The whole gym was looking at you and you felt like a fool. It might have been a week ago or a couple years ago, but you still remember it, because it was that embarrassing, but also very dangerous. And the saddest part about it is that it's very easily preventable. When you are putting the weight on the bar, you should set up the bar like this, and then put the first plate on this side. When you set up the bar unevenly like this, it's basically impossible for it to fall over, because the side of the bar that overhangs is balancing out the plate on the other side. I know it's pretty crazy how far the physics lessons in elementary school can take you. While we are still on the topic of barbell lifts, let's talk about safety pins and spotters. Spotters in the beginning are always looked at as the safety guards that will protect you from any possible danger, but that's not really the case. Let's use the squat as an example. Imagine that you are squatting 400 pounds and you ask someone for a spot. Do you think that when you will not be able to finish the rep and the bar starts falling, that the spotter will be able to grab a falling bar that weighs 400 pounds? No, obviously not. In the last couple of years, there has been a lot of people who have passed away just because of this. Having a spotter is cool, but you also need the safety pins, that's why they are there. Safety pins are the only thing that will protect you from the heavy bar falling directly on your neck. Use them, they are a lifesaver. The next thing we need to talk about is ego lifting. And that's for a good reason, because a lot of injuries come from people just trying to show off. And if you get injured like this, then you are just a victim of your own stupidity. There is nothing more to say. I'm sorry. If you slowly progressively overload, you will never get injured by ego lifting, because you are always in control of the weight, which is directly connected with having a good form. This is probably the most important thing of them all. That's why I put so much emphasis on you guys actually learning the basic exercises. Not only it's great for preventing injuries, but it's also the foundation of bodybuilding that will guarantee your future success. What is equally as important as knowing the proper technique is to warm up before your workout. But don't get it twisted, warming up doesn't mean static stretching for 20 minutes before your workout. Warming up should quite literally be just all about getting your whole body warm, so you don't feel so stiff. It should not be an extensive stretching session, because that is gonna do you more harm than good. Because if you have your stretching session before your workout, you will make yourself weaker. Just because when the muscle is stretched out, it can't produce as much force as before. You will also be more likely to get injured, because once again, your muscles are all loosey-goosey because of all of that stretching. If you want to do an extensive stretching session, then do it after your workout, not before. The next thing you should do to prevent injuries, or in this case make them a little bit less severe, is to wear shoes to the gym. And that's for one simple reason. If something falls on your toe, or you accidentally stub your toe on some equipment, it's going to be really bad. But wearing shoes is gonna make this way less problematic than if you were just in your socks. It might not seem like that big of a difference if a plate falls on your toe with or without the shoe, but it actually is. Yes, your toe is going to be hurt either way, but wearing shoes can reduce that damage by a lot, even if it might not appear that way at the first glance. And now something that a lot of people struggle with, and that is actually paying attention to what you're doing and to what's happening around you. The gym is not a place to be daydreaming. There is so much that can go wrong if you are not paying attention. Imagine that you are not paying attention and you forget to put on the clips on your barbell on something like the overhead press. Then you start the set and something goes wrong just by a little bit, and suddenly all the plates are falling everywhere and your shoulder is probably getting absolutely massacred in the process. And that's all because you were just not mentally present in the gym. Instead, you were daydreaming, scrolling on social media or doing whatever else to distract yourself. And that's not the only thing that can go wrong if you are not paying attention. Imagine that you are doing the bench press and you forget to put equal amount of plates on each side and you don't notice it. Well, it seems like you are cooking up another disaster, mate. And don't forget, you are not the only one in the gym, so you always have to pay attention to what is happening around you, because you could not only hurt yourself, but also someone else, which arguably might feel even worse. And you know that I saved the best for last. I mean, you can't really say that it's the best in the context of what we are talking about in this video, but it's something that will probably be the most valuable tip of them all. You have to learn to distinguish between the muscle burn and an actual pain, because the difference between the two is absolutely gigantic. Getting to the point where you feel the burn is obviously good, but some people, especially novices, are often mistaking the burn with actual pain. You know, the saying no pain no gain doesn't actually reference the actual pain, but the burn that you are experiencing. You should not be experiencing any actual pain when you exercise. And if you are experiencing some kind of pain, it's a signal from your body that something is wrong. Don't be oblivious to what your body is trying to tell you. You have to listen to your body. That is my number one advice. And not only for injury prevention, but also for everything else that is connected to bodybuilding and healthy lifestyle. Don't ignore the signals that your body is giving you, because there is always a good reason behind it. You simply can't act surprised when something bad happens, because you could have seen it coming from a mile ago, but you chose to ignore it. So I want you to think a little bit right now. Is there something that is causing you some problems in the gym right now? Oh, there is? Well, then do something about it. Take action right now, while you still can. Because if you don't, I guarantee you that you will be looking back at this with regret in your eyes. If you, for example, have an exercise in your routine that always causes you some kind of discomfort, then just replace it with a different exercise. That's the easiest thing that you can do. You have troubles with the barbell bench press? Well, then try the dumbbell bench press or the Smith machine bench press. There is so many variations of the same exercise and they are all just waiting for you to discover them. If you are looking for an easy to follow training or nutrition plan, then go to bodybuildingsimplified.com and get started today. So what are you waiting for? It's just that simple. And as always, a big thanks to all the supporters on my Patreon. Did you like this video? Then you will for sure like this one too.